What is good, YouTube? This your boy Aaron,
It's Brian.
and this is the Courtside View Podcast, and we are back today to discuss so much going on around sports. We got college football, we got NBA, we got NFL. It's just a great time of the year, dude. It's cold outside. It's just a great time to watch sports. I want to go to the NFL because we had some Thanksgiving games, 3 of them, and then we had a Friday game with the Chiefs versus Raiders. I want to start off with the Thanksgiving game. This was the disaster that is the Chicago Bears. The coaching, Matt Eberflus, he got fired, by the way, yesterday.
Good.
The clock mismanagement on his part. They were having a promising drive. I was like, man, the Bears could actually win this game. I'm like, let's go Bears. Let's go Bears. And I'm a Packers fan.
Nasty work.
I wanted them to win so badly. But then I think they had like 30 seconds left or so. They had a good amount of time. Was it fourth down, or did they still have
So what happened was it was second down, and then they got sacked with 30-something seconds left, and then it was third and whatever it was, and then it was just disaster after that.
Okay. Just trying to remember. I'll let you go. I'll let you get your thoughts off on that final play, because I just don't know what to say. What was your thoughts on that final play from the Chicago Bears?
I was watching it, and as I was watching this go down, I was thinking to myself, this team is being coached like this by dudes who are supposedly supposed to be the football minds of the world. There is no way you see your QB get sacked, and there was like all your receivers were up the field. There's no, and it's only 30 seconds left on there was like 33 seconds or so left in the game. There's no way you see all of these dudes trying to run back and hurry up with a no huddle, and then you see a QB trying to get dudes set and stuff. Now under 20, so you mean to tell me something in your brain is just like, we good. We don't need the time. We don't need to use this timeout. Then it gets to less than 10 seconds. Sir, what are you doing? You still have a timeout. I mean, it was just that was blasphemy. And the crazy thing is, the field goal, like worst case scenario, you kick a field goal. And I believe the field goal would have been only like maybe 59 yards indoors. What are we doing? That was some of the worst things I've ever seen. And I've seen when freaking the Cowboys and 49ers playoff game with Dak, they were in a QB draw, and then at the end of the game, and they couldn't get another playoff. That was worse than that, in my opinion, because at least they ain't have a timeout. The Bears had a timeout. So honestly, as a GM, I don't think you had a choice but to fire Eberflus after that, because you would have lost the locker room if you would have kept this man around for the remainder of the season, and then the players would have resented him and all that. It was he had to go. He had to go. Point blank period. That's ridiculous. And it's crazy how the Bears had been in so many games, so many close bouts, especially within their own division. They could have won a lot of these division games, and they lost because of incompetent coaching. So yes, Eberflus, you out of here. That's just what it had to be at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you. When I first saw the play, immediately I was like, "Yo, Caleb, what are you doing? Like, just call a timeout." But you have to remember that, number one, Caleb is a rookie, so he's still new to all this. So as the head coach, you should understand that, hey, he's a rookie. I heard he changed the play. So he changes the play in the middle of the sequence. What are you doing? Why are you pulling a Darvin Ham right now? Like, oh, I'm gonna save my timeout for the next game. Like, no, bro, use your timeout right now. It's okay. It's third down. You need to continue to convert down the field. You're trying to win the game. You're moving the ball down the field effectively. Why would you not call a timeout in that circumstance? I don't understand why Matt Eberflus I don't know. He just went brain dead in that moment, and he just elected to let things ride out. It just made no sense to me. It was malpractice. It was some of the most egregious clock management I've ever seen. And Caleb Williams, He was sensational that second half. He had 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. He had 256 yards passing. He wasn't the problem. It was, yet again, like all Chicago Bears quarterbacks when they're under duress, is the coaching at the end of the day. It always falls back to the coaching. Matt Eberflus was another example of a coach that just is not suited for this job. He's not suited to coach Caleb Williams. He's not suited to coach for the Chicago Bears, and that's why he got fired. And he is the scapegoat of it all. But we knew this coming into the season. Matt Eberflus is not the guy, but they still said, you know what? Let's get him another year, because this is what the Chicago Bears organization have continuously done over the years. They keep a coach a year more than they should. When honestly, if you're drafting a quarterback, a number 1 pick quarterback, wouldn't it behoove you to go out there and get a bright offensive minded head coach that can teach Caleb Williams, that can develop Caleb Williams, that can speak Caleb Williams' language? But no, you wanted to stay with the defensive minded head coach because the defense looked good the previous season, even though you still only won 7 games. It's just malpractice. And I'm not mad at it, because this is why the Chicago Bears have never won in the previous 10 seasons, except a couple of years with Matt Nagy. It's just who they are. And this game just fully encompassed the season of the Chicago Bears, and that is coaching has continuously killed them. If they had better coaching, they probably would have at least a 500 record right now. They probably would have beat the Detroit Lions. They probably would have beat the Packers. There's just so many games where you can point to and say, damn, the Commanders. So many games where you can point to, they just had a good coach. They had like a Jim Harbaugh. I think they win that game.
Oh yeah,
that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. And I will say this, because yet again, like Shane Waldron, they let him go too soon as well. Like you see, look at
you mean too
look
late?
at DJ Moore. Yeah, I said too soon, too late. Look at DJ Moore and how he's playing now. He has continuously gotten the ball week after week ever since Shane Waldron has been let go of the team. Before that, his targets, his receptions have been, it just varied. It's been like a roller coaster. But now they're targeting him. Caleb Williams is targeting him. He's being involved in the offense. He doesn't feel like he's a decoy anymore. And that boils down to coaching. It's just too late. The season is just too late. They're trying to rectify everything, but it's too late. They should have done this 5 weeks ago, but they waited until week 12, week 13 to make the decision. It's just too late. It's too late. I'm just glad that Caleb Williams doesn't look broken. I'm glad Caleb Williams is getting better, because if they would have kept Shane Waldron, Caleb Williams, the whole narrative would have been, man, Caleb Williams, is he really that guy? Well, no, he is that guy. It's just he needs better coaching. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering who's going to be the head coach, because you just put that one guy, I don't know what position he was, but now he's the offensive coordinator. Is the offensive coordinator going to be the head coach now? I mean, I don't even know what position he was before he became an offensive coordinator. So are you just going to elevate him to the head coach now? Like, damn, like he just went from never heard of the dude playing like he was a whatever position coach to now being the head coach of a football team. Whew, that's a
heck of a promotion.
Huge responsibility on your hand. I mean, my gosh, just going from that little position coach to now being the head coach, that is just, wow. Talk about a couple of weeks, man. A couple of weeks. Changing everything. Any concern for the Detroit Lions? I mean, the Detroit Lions, I know the Bears defense is pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say pretty. They're okay. They're okay for what it is, but they almost lost this game. You know, the Bears had them dead to right. I thought the Lions were going to dominate this game. I thought this was going to be like a 30-3 type of game. But the Chicago Bears, they came back towards the end of the game and nearly won. Do you have any concerns for the Detroit Lions?
My concerns with the Lions would probably be
Explosive
the
plays?
defense. The defense can be had at times, especially with since ever since Hutch went down. They have been playing very well. Aaron Glenn got them dudes ready to play week in and week out. But when you play against like a super high powered offense, do I believe they have all the dudes necessary to stop, like, God forbid, a Eagles or something in the playoffs? I don't. I can't in full confidence say that they can. But to give them a little slack, the Bears played the Lions fairly close. I remember before the game started, the Thanksgiving game, the the Bears were they won the last three matchups against the Lions in Thanksgiving. So I kind of figured from that standpoint, I said, okay, this game is going to be closer than most people expect, but I'm gonna still rock with the Lions. But yeah, I mean the Lions, and it's also teams are starting to really get up because the Lions are the team in the NFC now. So I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, I think the Lions will still be good. I'm pretty sure they'll secure the number one seed in the NFC and get home field advantage through the playoffs. But I don't really think it's time to like panic on it because the offense still looked good. Jared Goff didn't even have a good game, in my opinion. Like, he was
No, he
very
didn't.
pedestrian, in my opinion. And they still was able to put up how many points? What was the final score of the game?
23-20.
Yeah, I mean, they still like lollygag on offense. There was a lot of red zone trips. They didn't score touchdowns. And it was just, I mean, I don't think it's time to pull the panic button. Jared Goff didn't even play all that well, and they still was able to put up 23 points. So
They had 5 sacks from the defense. I think my concern with the Lions is they give up a lot of explosive plays. So a team like the Packers, a team like the Eagles you mentioned, who can make a lot of explosive plays, are they going to be able to stop that in the event that you face these teams in the playoffs? And then let's say, I feel like with the Eagles and the Packers, they have strong running games. So how do you stop an explosive offense like the Detroit Lions? Keep them off the field. With the running game, you can rely on that running game. You're going to make sure that the defense is not tired, that they're rejuvenated, that they don't feel like they have to exert so much energy in order to make sure that the score is low in the game and that the offense doesn't feel like they have a lot on their shoulders. With the Packers and with the Eagles, I think they're built to to really make it difficult for the Detroit Lions if they take care of the football. That's the if. If they take care of the football, if Jalen Hurts, if Jordan Love, if they take care of that football, if they rely on the running game, dog, this is not going to be easy for the Detroit Lions. Like, this is not one of those things where it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to go to the Super Bowl, especially with the way that the defense looked against the Chicago Bears. I mean, if you look like this against the Chicago Bears, I can only imagine what you're going to look up against the Eagles and against the Packers. Now, they play the Packers next Thursday, but the Detroit Lions, I think during the game, they were saying like they got some defensive players that are kind of hurt right now. They kind of beat up. So, like, we'll see how things materialize. But right now, I feel like there's some tape out there that these teams could really exploit that defense. So we just gonna have to see how things look in the future. But I feel like they can be had. The right team, the right running game, the right defense, they could be had on any given Sunday. So that's all. That is my thoughts on that game. It was a better game than I initially thought. I knew it was going to be
mhm.
entertaining to some degree, but I didn't think it was going to be that entertaining, and I didn't think that it was going to come down to the Bears driving the football down the field, and then eventually having just mismanagement on the clock for them to lose that game. I thought the Lions, they were just going to have control of the game for the entirety. But anywho, Cowboys and Giants. I mean, surprisingly, it was close in the game. I mean, the Cowboys were pretty much in control the entirety of the game. Cooper Rush, he managed the game. Rico Dowdle, he ran the ball very effectively, 22 carries, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. And that's all they wrote. Micah Parsons, he was dominant. The defense was pretty dominant that game. And that's all I can really say on that matter. I mean, it was one of the games of Thanksgiving, I will say.
Yeah, I mean,
What about you?
I wanted to lose, but players don't tank and coaches don't tank. So it is what it is. Can't really complain too much about it. I mean, another sweep for the Giants, even without Dak Prescott. So hey, it is
Yeah.
what it is. Hopefully we don't fall too far into the draft
Mm.
because the outside of the top 12-ish, top 12, 15, this class is a little
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. And then the last game we have the Packers versus Dolphins. This was an easy game to pick. I mean, it was like 20 degrees in Green Bay, and the Dolphins, I think under Mike McDaniel, hasn't won a game in the cold. In I think under
And
50-degree weather.
they're also like the current record now, I think it's like 1-15 against teams over 500.
Yeah, and their one game was against a Bills team that was missing so many players. I remember that game. That was the game I think Tua got concussed before the Thursday night game, if you remember, and they won that game just by a nail biter. But yeah, like I said, from the previous week, they continued to run the football. The Dolphins, they're not all that great, but again, they ran the football. They did what they needed to do. It was getting a bit close late. I was like, all right, Packers, what's going on? You're letting the Dolphins go down the field pretty easily. But again, that red zone drive by the Dolphins was so predictable, like third and fourth down. Just you could look at the personnel that was on the field and know that it was going to be a throw, it was going to be a passing play. Like that third down play, when I saw that they subbed in Tyreek Hill, I'm like, you really think y'all going to run the ball? Do you really think even your mom could predict that they're gonna pass the ball? Like, you really think? And it was like a play action, and they tried to throw the ball and it didn't work. I was like, come on, man. Mike McDaniel's like, you got to be more creative than that. And then they passed the ball on fourth down, and then that's all they wrote. We pretty much sealed the deal after that. Jordan Love, he took care of the football. Josh Jacobs, I mean, he had 43 yards rushing, but you know, in certain moments of the game when you needed a first down, he got the first down. He was able to run between the tackles. Chris Brooks, he ran the ball pretty effectively as well. So it was just a lot of managing the game. Defense played pretty well. Jordan Love, he was pretty efficient. 21 for 28 passing, 274 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 129 passer rating. So that's all they wrote for the Packers, dude. We just need to continue to take care of the football and continue to run the ball with Josh Jacobs, because that's how you're going to win football games. And with Tua, you don't want to see Tua throwing the ball 46 times. You're not going to win a lot of games with Tua throwing the ball 46 times.
Yeah.
And Devon Achane only had 14 yards rushing. He had 7 carries.
He had 21 fantasy points, and I will take it.
Yeah,
just
man.
honorable points. I don't care. I'm taking it.
8 receptions for 56 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. So congratulations. You got your points off the receiving end. And Tyreek Hill, he had 6 receptions for 83 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Not much really to write home for when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. Their season is looking like it's pretty much over. They needed that game, and ultimately they lost. It was a predictable game. I didn't expect them to really win in this cold weather. And this game really goes to show why they shouldn't have paid Tua all that money, because all the great teams in the AFC are in cold weather, and you paid a quarterback that can't throw the ball past 30 yards in cold weather. So it's just malpractice. It's just malpractice at this point. And they're stuck with him. They're going to be stuck for him for many years. And that's all they
When
wrote.
do you think people will start calling for Mike McDaniel job? Because
I will
at this point,
next season.
Next season?
Yeah, if they start off slow next season, then I think there'll be some rumblings that you know what, maybe Mike McDaniels isn't that guy. Maybe he got exposed.
I mean, because like the concept of hiring a young offensive minded guy to lead a team, it sounds good in theory because you'll have a pretty solid offense. Much more to being the head coach than just flat out X's and O's. He seems to get he seems kind of like a player coach, but that also can work against you because as we all see, and they said it multiple times on the broadcast, the on prime time, I believe it was Jason Garrett and
Yeah,
I forgot who Jason Garrett. He was there. They solved. Like
yeah,
they're
they are
soft.
soft.
They like prime example. They was in the red zone, and I believe this is when you said this play call was predictable. But they was like on the maybe 2 yard line, 2 yard
Hmm.
line. This is man on man football right here. My guys against your guys. I'm going to run this ball into the end zone, and they couldn't do it. So then now you got to be okay. Now I got to throw something in a condensed and less area for the defense to have to guard, which makes it easier. And I like to run bunch and all this stuff. And now I don't have much sideline, much room to work with. Now I'm trying to force something in, trying to make Tua to get tight window throws to make something happen. When I should just be able to say, hey, we're going to just overpower you and just run in for 6 points. We can't even do that. So,
Nope.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have a coach that's going to establish toughness as well as be able to do X and O things, So that I really think that's what the Dolphins really need. Probably need to look in a different direction because Mike McDaniel, his team, it doesn't scream toughness. Like they like Josh Jacobs said, they looked cold out there. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's time for this. The experiment was fun, but not every offensive guy can be a head coach. Like I think Ben Johnson could do it because he was under Dan Campbell, who's like obviously a stereotypical tough guy.
Hmm.
But like Mike McDaniel, they played in San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan teams are tough, but I guess it didn't rub off on Mike McDaniel. So
Yeah, they're too much finesse, not much physicality.
too much
That
speed.
red zone, that red zone drive, you could say is a perfect example of just the Dolphins and their identity. The fact that they're more finesse than ground and pound. And I feel like that third down play, maybe just run the ball. Especially if you're gonna try all four downs, just run the ball on third down. But they decided to throw the ball and it did not work. And in fourth down, what choice do you have? You're going to throw the ball. And they tried it again and it didn't work. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see next season how things materialize because again, he did take them to back-to-back playoffs. Miami Dolphins, they haven't been a winning team for a while. So him coming in and then finally make the playoffs for back-to-back years with Tua, I think it will take another season like this where we start hearing rumblings of maybe this isn't the right coach. Maybe we need somebody that can hold players accountable, that preaches
I
toughness
don't
and
I
preaches
don't know about
uh,
that.
a different style of play than just finesse all the time.
I mean, they had coaches like they had Brian Flores. They went 9-7. They missed the playoffs, but they went 9-7. They got him up out of there. Then last year, the defense they wasn't rocking with Vic Fangio. Now we see Vic Fangio what he's doing in Philly now and anchoring, being head coaching. I mean, being the coordinator for our leagues. I don't know. Maybe the players don't like tough coaches. Beats me.
Well, here's my thing. I think Brian Flores, I'm not all the way mad that they did that because his coaching, some of the coaching decisions he made in terms of like coaching hires for on offense was just egregious. Like he had some of the worst play callers on offense. So I'm not all the way mad. He did have some winning records for that team, but I don't know if he would have taken them over the top necessarily because the offenses for the Miami Dolphins were always mediocre to bad a lot of the time, and the personnel was awful. The defenses were good, but the offensive slide was just terrible. And Mike McDaniels, I don't necessarily think that a lot of his defenses were terrible per se. Like I feel like for the most part, he's had some pretty solid to decent defenses. I just think offensively, they're just too soft at times. Like they need to ground and pound, they need to be physical, and they're not. And if the offense would pick up the slack a lot more, I think they would be a better overall team. But at times they just don't do it. And Tua, he's limited as a quarterback. That's why I just don't understand why you would pay a quarterback like that. All that money. It just makes no sense. And the 49ers, they going to learn the same thing too when they pay Brock Purdy the same amount of money. They'll see. They will see.
I mean,
Even though I
Brock
do think
Purdy, I
Brock
mean,
Purdy's a little bit
he
better.
saw that game last week and did the Shannon Sharp meme where he pointed, he did this to
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Shanahan because that team looked awful without Brock
Yeah, they
Purdy out
did.
there.
They really did. All right, let's go to the Friday game. This game right here, I actually in the middle, I took a
I knew
nap.
this one was going to be
And
close because for some reason the Raiders play the Chiefs like it's the Super Bowl. I don't get it.
I knew it was gonna be close too. I took a nap though, and then I woke back up and I saw, oh, the Raiders are in the lead. I'm like, hold on, let me turn back this game on. And the Raiders, dude, you had one thing you had to do, and that is don't fumble the snap. And they fumbled the snap at the end of the game. They were moving the ball down the field. They were getting close to field goal range, and they mess it up. I don't know what it is about these teams versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't understand why every team, it just seems like they see red and they just gasp. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do anymore. Except the Buffalo Bills. It's like, damn. How do you do that? How do you mess up that badly when it matters most? It blows my mind. It really does. What was your reaction to
Listen,
that moment?
first of all, I don't. I think I was away from the like it, and when I came back, I said, "What the heck is everybody standing around for?" Then I saw the replay, and I was like, "You can't be serious." I was like, "There's no way it happened again." The Chiefs' dark magic is this is ridiculous. You cannot be in a one-score game against the Chiefs. You're going to lose. All the Chiefs'
Mhm.
losses have been multiple score losses. So if you are within 7 points of the Chiefs, you're going to lose the game. Somehow, some way, they're going to do some type of ritual on the sideline, and you're going to end up losing because 14 and they won their last 14 in one score game. That is ridiculous.
You know, you
NFL record, by the way.
oh oh yeah, there was another stat that I saw where the Chiefs have the lowest point differential for 11-1 team
Of the
ever.
first seed. Oh man, I think their point difference was like in the 50s.
Yeah. Wow. Man,
Mhm.
there's no way they could keep getting away with this in the playoffs. There's no way. This is just
They
not a recipe
honestly,
for
I
success.
know it's not this is like kind of taboo to say against the for the Chiefs in the playoffs, but they might not get away with it this time in the playoffs.
I remember when the Patriots, I think they may have started like maybe 9-0, 10-0 or something like that. Like they were playing really good football. And the defense was like carrying them a lot of the games. I think I remember it was one year we was playing fantasy. I think the other Brian, he had the Patriots defense, and the Patriots defense was just putting up crazy numbers. Like they were carrying that team. But then ultimately, as the season waned, teams just started to see more film of the Patriots. The Patriots just couldn't get away with it anymore. They couldn't just ride on the greatness of that Patriots defense, and they got exposed. I want to say that may have been 2019. That could have been Brady's last year with the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken, where the
That's the
defense was
year.
great.
That's the year. Is that the year Mahomes beat them in the playoffs?
Nah. Mahomes never beat Brady. It was the year the Titans, I think, beat them in the
Oh yeah, the
playoffs. Remember?
Titans. Yeah, the Titans. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I think they had their defense was like really, really good that year. And around the second half of the season, it started to wane and like teams just started to expose the offense a lot more. The offense was
Yeah,
very limited. And eventually you go to the playoffs and they were like 12-4 and they lost to the Titans in the first round in the wild card.
yeah. I remember
I
that. Yeah.
just look at this. I just look at this Chiefs team. I don't think they're going to lose in the wild card, but just some of the things that I'm looking at right now, it just doesn't seem like a team that's going to go back to the Super Bowl. It just seems like they're going to get knocked off. Somebody's going to knock them out eventually because it seems like different parts of the game they're just not all the way there. Like offensively, they're just very stagnant. They're not getting a lot of anything going offensively, and they don't
The
look
tackles
comfortable.
are
They don't look like
terrible.
they're always getting in the group. Yeah, the tackles. Yeah, the offensive line is not as good as it once was. And I just look at Baltimore. I know Baltimore, they have their limitations. I look at Buffalo. They obviously have some limitations as well, but it just seems like this is the one year where a team like Buffalo or Baltimore could finally get the upper hand on Kansas City, but we just haven't seen it yet. That's the thing. We haven't
What if
seen it yet, and right now we're just projecting.
what if people are looking at the wrong team for the to
Mm.
knock off the Chiefs? I
You
think
think
there's another
Detroit?
team that could knock them off in the AFC.
Don't tell me it's
It's
the
going to take
Steelers.
a little bit of magic of themselves, but with the coach they have, it's very possible. Talking about the Pittsburgh, if there's a team that is built defensively to beat a team like the Chiefs, it's the Steelers. They have the D line. You know, TJ Watt, one of the best pass rushers in the league, top three, and they like to
Mm.
play in that wide nine stance. So he's going to get a lot of one on one with them that right tackle. And still got Cam Hayward. He's old man, but he's still getting the job done. And they got Herbig and the other pass rush. I forgot his name. He might be
Don't
hurt.
worry
I
about it.
don't know. Yeah,
Don't worry
but
about it. They got a
the
great
Steelers,
defense.
yeah, good defense. So it can happen. Now it is dependent. The Steelers are going to have to put up points. And can Russell Wilson remain the turnover less do? Can they move the ball offensively? And that's yet to be seen. I don't know. I feel like they still have a little more gelling and stuff to do. Especially George Pickens, he can't crash out if he's playing against Kansas City, but because they're gonna toss him about the game off the first offense, messing with them Chiefs refs. But listen, I'm not counting out anything at this point. The Chiefs need to go down, and that's me. That's coming from a fan of Mahomes.
I don't know, man. I don't see the Steelers because I think the problem with the Steelers is offensively. Their offensive line is not good. So I think that plays in the Kansas City Chiefs' hands a little bit. You know what I mean? Like their offense has been getting a little bit better with Russ at the helm, but when we get to the playoffs, when teams are game planning each other, Kansas City, they have an amazing coach, amazing defensive coordinator, and Steve Spagnuolo. It's going to be very hard for that Steelers team to get anything going offensively against this Chiefs team, especially on the road, because they're going to be playing on the road in Arrowhead. I just don't think they're the right team to bet on. I think Baltimore or the Buffalo Bills that have better offensive lines and obviously significantly better offenses and quarterbacks are the team to bet your money on in this instance because they've been in the playoffs before. And I think another thing that we have to take into account is that Mike Tomlin, the last time he's won a playoff game, what was it, 2016 with Big Ben,
I think
with
so.
AB and Le'Veon Bell? That was a long, long time ago. That was around the time I think it was Tom Brady. We had the whole little it was like that little picture. It was like Tom Brady, it was Nick Foles, it was Case Keenum with the Vikings and Blake Bortles. I don't know if you remember that little image that was circulating
I
on the
thought that was
internet. And
2017.
well, okay, so it was probably 2017 because it was 2016 season, 2017 playoffs. So 2017 playoffs, that was the last time they won a playoff game. That was a minute ago. And I don't think things are going to change this time unless they play a Houston Texans team. I think they could beat the Texans. I don't think the Texans are all that great. So I think they can exploit them. But besides that, maybe Baltimore, obviously Baltimore, you have a shot because it's a division game. Baltimore, they lost to them weeks ago. But besides
You know
that,
what's funny? The
what?
last time the Steelers won the playoffs was January 15, 2017 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
But guess who the quarterback was? Alex Smith. Alex
Yeah,
Smith.
I don't
Ain't
actually.
no Alex
Is
Smith.
that might have been? I want to say that might have been a year where Alex Smith was actually hurt. Let me see. Let me look at this.
Was
Wish I
he?
could find.
He
This.
got hurt.
Let me
He got
see.
hurt that season.
I know he
I
got
didn't know
hurt
that.
one season. No, I think he was healthy. Yeah, I think he played.
Yeah, I about to say. I mean, Alex Smith, he normally loses games in the playoffs, so that's not surprising if he was healthy for that game. But I just don't think this is the year that they're going to knock off the Chiefs just for the fact that the offensive line is not good enough. I feel like in order to beat the Chiefs, you have to have a decent offensive line and you have to have a decent running game in order to knock off the Chiefs. You have to play ball control with the Chiefs. You have to make sure that you take care of the football. And I just don't see this variation of the Steelers offense doing that consistently. And I'm a bet on the Ravens or the Bills in that scenario, in my opinion. I think Josh Allen is the perfect QB to knock off the Chiefs because he's always played well against the Chiefs. And he hasn't really turned the ball over in the playoffs versus the Chiefs. So they've done a really good job offensively against the Chiefs defense. And that's probably the one team that I probably bet my money on in order to knock off the Chiefs this year. All right. Let's go on to predicting the games, man. We have
we so far we both 4-0 thus far.
yeah. I'm right. Feeling excited about it. So, number one, we got Chargers versus the Falcons. The Falcons are at home. I'm gonna go with the Chargers this game. I don't trust the Falcons at all. They're a roller coaster. They seem like a team that plays up to bad teams, but plays really down against good teams. I'm gonna go with the Chargers this game.
J.K. Dobbins is out this game.
Ooh, hold on. That changes.
Honestly,
that might change. That might change some things. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let me try to use my foresight. What kind of Falcons are we getting this week? Are we getting a good?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let me look at the injury report. You know, let's see what we got here.
I'm gonna go. Who the Broncos play? Do they even play this week? They play the Browns.
Man, this is tough. Wow, it's tougher than I thought. Falcons are at home. Chargers do have a good defense.
They play the Panthers.
I mean, Gus Edwards isn't no slouch though.
True.
He ain't no slouch.
You know,
I'm gonna still go with the Chargers though.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
I just think the Falcons are too inconsistent, and that Chargers defense is going to make the difference for the game, in my opinion. I think Kirk Cousins, he throws an interception this game that's going to cost them, and I think that's going to be the difference. Let's go to the Steelers versus the Bengals, an AFC North matchup. The Bengals, they're fighting for their playoff lives. I mean, it's pretty. It's looking very dicey right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but they're still in the picture. Looking at the injury report for the Steelers, it seems like they have all. Alex Highsmith is looking like he's not going to play.
That's the dude who I was talking about.
Yeah, but for the most part, everybody else is pretty much healthy that they need on the field. Looking at the Bengals right now, they're pretty healthy for the most part. There's no significant names. Orlando Brown is questionable, but besides that, there's not really many significant injuries that we should be worried about. The Bengals are at home. Joe Burrow is still the quarterback. Jamar Chase has been sensational this game. Chase Brown has been running the football very effectively as of late. I think I'm going to still go with the Steelers.
Are the Steelers one of those teams the Bengals kind of like, or is it the other way around?
I think it's the other way around. I think the Steelers play significantly well against the Bengals. The Bengals are, ever since Joe Burrow has been the quarterback, they've had trouble in the AFC North.
Okay.
With a lot of teams. The Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens. I think I'm going to go with the Steelers this game. Although it is Joe Burrow, it is in Cincinnati. I think the NFL wants that clash between the Steelers and the Ravens for the AFC North title. And I believe they'll continue to win this game.
Yeah. I'm going to go with...
You know what? I'm going to screw it. I'm going to change my pick. I'm going with the Bengals. I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go to Bengals. You know, after I thought about it, the Bengals are fighting for their playoff lives, and they're at home. I think Trey Hendrickson is going to have a great game. I think he's going to dominate that awful offensive line of the Steelers. I think Joe Burrow is going to – I'm not going to say he's going to have a party. I think it's going to be a tough-fought game. Ultimately, being at home, I like the Bengals' chances this game. I think the Steelers can be had any given Sunday. The record is 8-3, but after what I saw on Thursday night against the Browns, there are some cracks in that armor. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals. And
game.
the Bengals are favored -3 on the spread. So even
About a
ESPN thinks
coin
that they're
flip.
gonna win. Yeah, well, mainly because they are at home, so they're giving them 3
Yeah,
points right there. But they're the favorites right now. Cardinals, Vikings. I'm gonna go with the Vikings this game.
the
The
Cardinals
Cardinals
can't be
offense,
trusted.
they're just like the Falcons in that they're a roller coaster. You can't really trust them. You really don't know what Cardinals you're going to get week by week. And in Minnesota, I think Sam Darnold, I think Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, I think they're going to get it going. I think they'll win this game. I think that Cardinals offense is just so limited with just the play calling. I think defensively, the Vikings are going to take advantage of that defense. I just think the better, more talented team is going to win. The better coaching team is going to win. So we just go with the better dude.
Yeah, go with the Vikings.
All right. We have the Colts versus the Patriots. Let me look at this injury
A
report.
real coin flip game.
Let me look at this injury report real quick. Because, some teams might be just milking it in during this time of the year, try to get a better pick. Josh Downs is going to be out. Alec Pierce is questionable. Looking at the Patriots side of things, it's a lot of questionables. Cole Strange is out. I'm going to go with the Colts this game. They're not missing a whole bunch of significant players. The Patriots have a lot of questionables on their injury report. I think the Patriots, they're playing for a higher draft pick. I still think Drake May, he's going to play effectively this game, but ultimately, with the lack of talent, I believe the Colts will eventually win. And Anthony Richardson, he'll have a decent game. So I'm going to go with the Colts on the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts too, I guess.
Yeah, ESPN has the Colts -2.5 on the road. So that's interesting. Seahawks versus Jets. Go on, Seahawks. I don't even have to think about it.
You say you going Seahawks?
Yeah, they're on the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Seattle. I'm gonna go Seattle. The Jets, they're
I,
cooked food.
I didn't know Geno Smith has the same amount of touchdowns to interceptions.
He does? That's
12
terrible.
touchdowns to 12 interceptions.
That ain't good.
He has 3,000 passing yards, but 12 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. My goodness, that is horrible. But yeah, Seattle, better coach team, better dudes, a little bit better at quarterback. I'm gonna go with Seattle. Titans versus Commanders. I will say, man, okay, Commanders are at home, but they're playing a really good Titans defense. They just lost to the Cowboys, dog. I'm gonna go with the Commanders, but I don't like it. I just can't trust Will Levis in this instance. I know they just beat the Texans on the road, I think it was, either at home or on the road.
Mhm.
Doesn't really matter. But they're a bad football team, dog. And there's no way they're going to lose to the Titans. Like, come on now. They can't lose to the Titans.
Maybe
Out of
get
all
it
the teams to
Sunday.
lose to the Titans, come on now. I'm going to go with the Commanders, bro.
Yeah, man, it's the cold game. Jaden Daniels. I'm gonna go Commanders. Commanders need a bounce back win after dropping their last three, and I think the Titans are a good team to try to get that again. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders right here. But if they lose, hey man,
It's time to panic.
yeah,
Yeah, I do. I will say that their last 3 opponents, we have to put into context this. It was the Steelers that they barely lost to, the Eagles, and a division rival in the Cowboys. So if you want to look at those past 3 games, you're like, all right, you know that those aren't the worst loss in the world. This game, you cannot lose this game. There's no excuse. You should be better than the Titans, and I think they'll win this game. Texans versus Jaguars. I'm gonna go Texans this game.
I'm going Texans. Jaguars are terrible.
Texans have been just bad, but they can't be worse than the Jaguars and what's going on with them. So I'm gonna go with the Texans. Rams versus Saints. I'm gonna go with the Rams. The Rams, they're a roller coaster, but they're fighting for the playoff lives. The Saints aren't fighting for anything right now. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. What you thinking?
I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay.
I wouldn't be
Buccaneers.
surprised if the Saints
Yeah.
somehow won.
Well, the Rams are playing inconsistent football right now. You would think with all that talent that they would be a lot better, but it just seems like something is missing with them right now. The Buccaneers versus the Panthers, a divisional game. Buccaneers are on the road. The Panthers have been playing a little bit better. Bryce Young has been playing better, but I think I'm going to go with the Buccaneers this game. I think they have the better dudes. I know that they nearly beat the Chiefs, but I think the Buccaneers will make sure that they win this game. But Baker Mayfield is still playing pretty well. He has 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. They have Mike Evans back. Cade Otton, he's been an amazing tight end for them. And Bucky Irvin, he's running the ball effectively for them. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers too. The Panthers, they have been playing pretty well. I expect them to play pretty well again because this is against Dane. Is it Dave? Yes, Dave
Dave
Canales'
Canales,
old
yeah.
team. Yeah, so I expect them to play pretty well. But I'm gonna still take the Buccaneers to win.
Why this is not the prime time 8 o'clock game is beyond me. But Eagles versus Ravens, this game right here, dog. Ooh, I can't wait for this game. We have Lamar Jackson.
I am nervous.
We have Lamar Jackson, who's playing like the best player in football. We have Derrick Henry, who's one of the 3 best running backs in the NFL. We have Saquon Barkley playing like the best running back in football. Jalen Hurts, he's managing the game. Zay Flowers has been a great receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. We have all of this talent on the football field. 2 teams fighting for position in their conferences for the playoffs. The Ravens are at home. I'm going to go with the Ravens this game, mainly because of one guy, and it's Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is the difference in this game. I believe both teams are talented. I believe both rosters are really, really good. I believe Saquon Barkley is an amazing player, and I think he's going to have some great moments in that game. But I also think Derrick Henry is going to have great moments in that game.
I
Lamar
hope
Jackson's
so.
going to make the difference. Lamar Jackson's going to make the difference in this game. I think late, Lamar Jackson's going to have the ball in his hands, and I believe he's going to come and he's going to make some plays that's going to be the difference in the game. The Eagles, as great as they are, Jalen Hurts, he has the tendency of making the wrong decisions at times. And if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, you have to make Jalen Hurts beat you. You cannot have Saquon Barkley be the reason that the Eagles win the game. And I believe that the Eagles are going to have to lean on Jalen Hurts' quarterbacking ability in this game for them to win. And I think that's going to be the difference. I think because of that, the Ravens are going to win. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to outduel Jalen Hurts, and the Ravens are going to win.
I'm going to go with the Ravens too, simply because the Eagles have a great team, but I just feel like the Ravens have been more, as far as this season, they've definitely been more battle tested in my opinion.
I was thinking the same
Like
thing.
the Eagles, they've played some decent but like they haven't really played any real contenders or anything. At least like the Ravens, they had to play the Steelers and they played the Chiefs. They played the Bills too,
Bills
I believe, right? Yeah, they played the
dominated.
Bills. Yeah, they just got out of a gritty win with the Chargers. So the Ravens have been through the ringer this year. They had a real gauntlet of a schedule, and I just think the Eagles, their defense hasn't had to play against a dynamic offense like the Ravens, where you got to worry about Lamar and you got to worry about Derrick Henry. Then you still got Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews starting to get it going. I just think, and their defense is they're very young. There's 2 rookies in the secondary for crying out loud. So I feel like the Todd Monken will be able to find some type of mismatch there and use that vet experience that's on the Ravens offense against that young defense. I think they'll win it. Plus Lamar, he only lost 1 game against the NFC, and it was the Giants. I don't think that record is going to be broken against. Well, that record is going to get worse against the Eagles.
And Roquan Smith is playing this game.
Oh yeah, they definitely need
So
that.
he's going to make a world of a difference. And they beat the Chargers without Roquan Smith last week. So that just lets you know how good this team is. And I expect them to continue the momentum and gear up for their game against the Steelers eventually late in the year for that division title. Let's go to the 8 o'clock game, 49ers versus Bills. I'm going Bills this game. 49ers are beat up. They're pretty much ready for the season to be over almost. Like Brock Purdy, it looks like he's going to play, but it's so many injuries on the 49ers.
Trent Williams is out.
Yeah. I just don't think they have enough dudes right now to overcome the injuries, and I expect the Bills to win at home. And it seems like it's going to snow. It's going to be very cold in Buffalo. It's not like the 49ers haven't dealt with the cold before and haven't been successful, but with all those injuries, with no Trent Williams, Brock Purdy coming back from that injury, I just don't see how the 49ers win this game.
I'm going 49ers.
Whoa.
I'm going 49ers because I just don't see the 49ers just being like, honestly, if they lose this game, I mean, they're not all the way cooked, but they're almost cooked if they lose this game.
No, they're cooked.
But I don't see the 49ers just going away. I feel like this is a type of game people say, oh, the Bills easily got this one. And we get one of those games where it's like, dang, what the heck happened? It's like the 49ers offense. I feel like the 49ers offense is due for an explosion game. And in a part where they need wins because pretty much everyone in the division has at least 5 wins, I think. So they need to get something going if they want to at least want to compete for a division title. And I feel like the 49ers, I think they'll get one. I think they'll get one. It may be come down to like a field goal or something, but I think they'll get over on the Bills. I don't want to see it, obviously. I want the Bills to destroy these clowns, but the way football is, that's just how I be sometimes, man.
No Dre Greenlaw, no Nick Bosa, no Trent Williams.
No Nick Bosa.
Are you sure? Yeah, no Nick Bosa. Are you sure?
I'm gonna stick with the pick. I'm gonna stick with it.
All right. I mean, all right. You going off of vibes. You going off of conspiracies. All right, man. I'm trying to give you that olive branch, but hey, that's how you feel.
My record been pretty good these past few weeks, so I can afford a risky pick.
All right, say less. Browns versus Broncos. It's the Monday night game. I'm gonna go with the Broncos this game. They're just playing really good football. Bo Nix, he's 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, looking like the rookie of the year. So give me the Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos. The Browns, they had a good win. They got a little extra rest from that Thursday game, but it just seems like when the Browns play bad against literally everybody else that's not in the AFC North. So I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Listen, the Browns, they did their job. They did what was on the script, and that is to make sure that the Steelers and the Ravens match up against one another towards the end of the season for the division crown. That was all they needed to do, and they did that. But now they have to go back to reality and lose to the Broncos because that's what's on the script for them this season. So that is what it is. I'm joking, people. There's no script. I am joking. But anywho, that'll do it for week 13 of the season. We are getting close to the end of the year, man. It's going to be exciting football, man. It's going to be exciting football.
Just let me be me.